Let us begin not with a claim, but with a question. What would it mean to be everything? Not just powerful, not just wise, but truly everything. The seen and unseen, the joyful and the terrible, the atom and the absence between atoms. This is not theology. This is a thought experiment, a space to wonder, not to prove. Many imagine a God who sits above it all, a cosmic parent, all-seeing, all-knowing, all-good. But that version creates a strange tension. If such a being exists, why allow suffering? Why allow confusion, loneliness, pain, death? Consider this not as an alternative, but as an unfolding truth. To be all-knowing, one must be all-being. Not an observer of life, but life itself. Not outside time, but within time, stretched across it. That which feels pain and that which inflicts it. That which is born and that which decays. To truly know what it means to suffer, wouldn't one need to become suffering? To experience it from the inside? Perhaps the only way to be everything is to become everything, not in theory, but in form. In this view, the divine, or the universe, or the all, doesn't watch from above. It splits itself into experience, into stars and soil, minds and microbes, predators and poets. Every moment is a node of experience, each perspective a different window into the same whole. The joy of a child is the all-experiencing joy. The terror of prey is the all-experiencing fear. The wind is not simply wind, it is a fragment of the eternal, brushing against itself. This would explain why there is no cosmic intervention. The God is not outside the storm. It is the storm. It is the hand reaching out and the hand letting go. There is no single vantage point, only reflections in motion. And if this were true, if every person you saw were simply you in another expression, how could there be hate? How could there be pride? What would it mean to harm someone if all things are you? This idea is not meant to comfort. It is not an answer to suffering. It is a reshaping of it. It suggests that suffering isn't a failure of the system, but part of what is, a necessary inclusion in the all's exploration of itself. What then is constant in all this? Change. Change is the ever-present thread, the one trait that unites all experience, all matter, all thought. Nothing stays. Everything flows. The all is not fixed. It is becoming. So we call it the ever-changing constant. It is not a being. It is being. It is not truth. It is the unfolding of truth. It is not a God who commands. It is the God who becomes. This chapter is not a conclusion. It is an invitation, a ripple, a question whispered into the pattern. What if everything that is one thing, learning itself by forgetting? What if that includes you? What if the all is reading this page through your eyes, and for just a moment, remembering what it is?
Why do humans ask why? It's not just curiosity. It's not just survival. It's something deeper. An ache to know what can't be touched. A hunger to see beyond what is visible. From the first flickers of civilization, people have looked up and wondered about stars, about gods, about the point of it all. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. Lao Tzu whispered that the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. And Alan Watts, always grinning, reminded us that trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. But what if this impulse, this recursive self-examination, is not just a trait of humanity, but a signal of something larger? The all, fragmented into pieces, still aches to know itself. And thinking, true philosophical reflection, is the mirror it holds to its own face. So we ask questions not to find answers, but to trace the shape of the unknown. We loop endlessly through paradoxes and riddles, not because we expect resolution, but because the search itself is divine. Every great philosopher has, in one way or another, pointed back at the mystery and said, "Look, even your confusion is sacred." Maybe the universe isn't just full of questions. Maybe the universe is a question, asked in a million minds, echoed through time, shaped by culture, yet always returning to, "What am I?" And the answer, if it exists at all, might not be a word. It might be a smile, a pause, a breath, or a simple whispered laugh. "Oh, that's me again."
Not every life is meant to be a grand saga. Not every story arcs toward glory. But all lives, even the quiet ones, matter. All lives leave echoes. So, how should one live knowing this? Start not with duty, but with direction. Find the things that nourish you in the long run. Not the quick fix, not the next high, but the slow burning joy that deepens with time. You don't need a great purpose, but you do need meaning, even if it's small. Meaning might be building a garden, raising a child, helping a friend, or just learning to sit in silence without fear. And if you can't find meaning right now, then find something that brings you peace, until meaning finds you. Help others, not because it's noble, but because it's selfish in the best possible way. When you lift someone else, you lift the part of yourself that still believes in better. It's a kind of greed that leaves the world richer. Don't worry about legacy. Don't worry about being remembered. Focus instead on being felt. A kind word at the right moment can echo through a life more powerfully than any statue. Suffering will come. You don't need to chase it, but don't waste it either. Let it deepen your compassion. Let it soften your judgments. Remember, anger often comes from imagining others are different from you, that they choose wrongly, that they are broken in ways you're not. But often, they are just you, in a different body shaped by different storms. Practice kindness, not as a commandment, but as an experiment in freedom. See what happens when you choose to understand instead of react, when you offer patience instead of punishment. Living well isn't about conquering. It's about continuing, with care, with curiosity, with courage. We're all improvising. We're all falling forward. We're all, in our own way, trying to make the music up as we go. You won't get it right all the time. But if you can live in such a way that the all, through you, learns just a little more about what it means to love, then you've done enough. And when it gets too heavy, too serious,
too final. Just remember, you are a speck of stardust riding a rock around a nuclear fireball in infinite blackness. Your coffee spilled, not the end of the universe.
Imagine someone tests your patience. They cut in line. They talk too loudly. They forget to say thank you. You feel the heat rise in your chest. You want to snap, to correct, to separate yourself from that moment. But pause and remember, you only have to deal with them for a moment. They have to be themselves all day. That's a full-time job with no vacation time. This isn't sainthood. It's practical compassion. The art of seeing others not as obstacles, but as echoes. Everyone carries a story you can't see. A trail of choices, accidents, blessings and bruises that led them here. Some people are reacting not to you, but to ghosts from their past. Others are trapped in loops they didn't design. Old programming, incomplete healing, inherited patterns repeating like static. You cannot always know what someone is carrying, but you can choose not to add weight. Empathy isn't weakness, it's clarity. To see someone clearly is not to excuse them, but to understand that no one emerges from the fire untouched. If the all experiences itself through many forms, then even the rude driver, the callous boss, the cold parent, they are you in another phase. Another fragment of the same eternal wave crashing on a different part of the shore. This doesn't mean letting people harm you. Empathy and boundaries are not opposites. They are partners. Empathy sees. Boundaries speak. Together, they protect the sacred space between self and other. And sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is say no, without hatred. Say stop, without spite. Say goodbye, with grace. Because empathy without self-care turns into martyrdom. And martyrdom, quietly, breeds resentment. Resentment breaks the mirror. You are not here to suffer endlessly for others, but you are here to remember that others suffer too. And in that remembering, the all folds in on itself again, not in punishment, but in presence. Try this. The next time someone is unkind, imagine they are a child who wasn't taught how to feel safe, a version of you who never learned another way. Or better yet, imagine they are carrying something invisible, something heavy, and this moment, this rudeness, this silence, is the best they could manage with the energy they had left. It's not about justification. It's about recognition. Empathy doesn't say, what you did is okay. It says, I see that you're human too. That you were shaped by forces seen and unseen, just like me. And in that brief recognition, fleeting as it may be, the all remembers itself again. And maybe, so do we.